Ford Model A, the Henry Ford Revolution. Ah, the Ford Model A, the stepping stone to automotive nirvana. For those of you who think the Model T was the be-all and end-all of early motoring, let me enlighten you. By the time the roaring 20s were fizzling into the Great Depression, Henry Ford came up with a successor that made the T look like a clunky relic. Imagine swapping your rotary phone for the latest iPhone. It was that revolutionary. The Model A was Ford's way of saying, right, let's get serious. Leather upholstery, safety glass windshield, and, you might want to sit down for this, shock absorbers. This wasn't just a car, it was the middle finger to horse-drawn carriages, and quite arguably, the competition. The very essence of America was poured into its tinny frame. Now, this car was about as related to the Model T as a cathedral is to a garden shed. Sleek, chic, and rather quick for its time, the Model A came in a variety of body styles. We had roadsters, coupes, sedans. It was like Ford had opened a Baskin-Robbins for cars. Everyone could have a flavor. The engine was a peach, a 3.3-liter inline-4 that churned out 40 horsepower. It may not sound like much today, but back then it was akin to strapping a rocket to a bicycle, and it offered a top speed of 65 miles per hour. You could outrun everything, minus the occasional stray cow. Driving one today is akin to handling a school bus on roller skates. No power steering, no seatbelts, no ABS. It's motoring in its purest, most undiluted form. You don't just drive it, you wrestle with it. And when you conquer it, there's a satisfaction modern cars simply can't provide. Like taming a wild stallion, if you will. The Model A didn't just take you from point A to point B. It did so with a flair your neighbor in his clapped-out horse cart could only dream of. It was freedom on four wheels, the American dream cast in steel and rubber. This car taught America how to drive, and in the process, it turned the country into a nation of road lovers. It wasn't without its quirks. The mechanical brakes were about as effective as a chocolate teapot. The fuel gauge was a piece of string attached to a cork floating in the fuel tank. But then, who wants soulless perfection? These quirks are what made the Model A character actor in a sea of bland leading men. And here's the kicker. Ford managed to sell nearly 5 million of these things in just 4 years. That's about 20 times more than McLaren sells in a decade. It was affordable, reliable, and by Jove, it was beautiful. Henry Ford didn't just create a car. He created an icon, a piece of Americana that's etched into the nation's collective consciousness. So next time you see one, don't just nod and say, "Old car." Tip your hat, bow down, and show some respect. The Ford Model A didn't just help people get about, it helped them dream. If you like what you've seen, smash that like button and subscribe to Auto Icons. Turn on notifications so you won't miss our next automotive escapade. Come on, join the ride. You know you want to.